Hey guys, Lauren here. I want to make this video today because I feel like it's something we all should talk about, but it's kind of weird to talk about. So, who better than to bring the subject up than me? We're going to talk about dumping syndrome and what it means to you if you're going to have weight loss surgery. Now, first, number one rumor that I want to spell is that people who have the sleeve don't get dumping syndrome, because that's a lie. We absolutely do. I can tell you right now that dumping syndrome is a real thing. I even can tell you the last day that I had it, which was Mother's Day, because I made bad choices. And that's what it is. Dumping syndrome, you never know really what it's gonna, get brought on by, or how you're gonna feel until you've experienced it, and then you go, oh my gosh, I never want to experience that again. And then eventually you experience it again and again, over and over. I probably had dumping syndrome maybe 10 times since surgery, which was almost 3 years ago, so I don't think that's too bad. But it's horrendous. It feels horrible, and I've ended up passed out from the pain. Yeah, I'm totally gonna freak you out. Okay, so first off, what dumping syndrome is when you have weight loss surgery, your stomach is shrunk to a smaller size, which means that food gets passed into your intestines faster than it would had you not had weight loss surgery. Both the vertical gastric sleeve and gastric bypass, it moves food through your stomach faster, so your intestines have to digest things in different ways. They have to work harder. Now, when you push food into your intestines and make it work harder, at times your intestines are going to go, no, and then it's going to push it all out. So that's kind of what dumping syndrome is, when your body pushes out whatever you just put into it at rapid speeds. The word, I don't know who came up with the term dumping syndrome, but, that's how it comes out. So, dumping syndrome, let me explain it to you. For me, it starts with cramping. And as a woman, I can tell you that cramping, like menstrual cramping, this is slightly similar, maybe worse. For men, like diarrhea cramping. Women, you obviously know what diarrhea cramping is too. It's very similar to that, but there's a very sharp pain with it. At least I'm going to describe my dumping syndrome, because maybe yours will be a little bit different. So for me, it starts with the cramping. Hardcore stabbing pain, cramping in my intestine area. It almost feels like there's just certain positions that when the food passes through parts of my intestines, it feels worse, but it's horribly painful. That usually starts it can start anywhere from 15 minutes after eating something to up to 3 hours after I eat something not good. I get dumping syndrome from things like sugar, excessive amounts of sugar, mainly ice cream, which sucks, and red meat, which is super odd, but I get dumping syndrome from red meat. So no steak for me, which is a total bummer. So anyways, about 10 minutes to 3 hours after I eat, it can start up. And I get the cramping, and I have to lay there, because the cramping can take like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, sometimes up to an hour of just on and off cramping, where I want to curl up in a ball and cry. But then the cramping starts to get progressively worse, and I break out into a cold sweat. My body flushes, I'm sweating profusely, and I'm cramping, and it hurts. Then I go into the bathroom, and this is where it gets really gross, so if you're sensitive, maybe you should stop watching here, but yes, you get the worst diarrhea you can imagine, and it hurts, and your body pushes it out, and it's extremely painful the whole time. And it can last, my dumping syndrome has lasted at times 2 hours, 3 hours, including the cramping. I've had a baby naturally with no meds, and it was almost comparable to that. Like, it was horribly painful. I also had a C-section too, though, so maybe that's why my cramping is so bad, because of scar tissue. But Again, you won't experience the exact same thing I will, but maybe something similar. So it's bad. I'll just sit there and wait for my body to be done expelling whatever it is that it's rejecting. But there have been 2 times when the pain has been so bad that I've blacked out. One of the times I did hit my head, it was kind of an issue. I've actually fainted more since having surgery than I did before surgery, but this time it was because the pain was so extreme that my body just shut down. The pain is pretty bad. Now, as soon as your body gets everything out, you're fine. You feel fine. There's no lingering pain. And I mean, the only thing I felt afterwards is complete and utter exhaustion. Now, the last time I had dumping syndrome was on Mother's Day. My kids wanted to just kind of have a fun day, and whenever we have fun days, we talk about eating whatever we want. And my favorite food, I've talked about this a million times, is nachos. I love to eat nachos, and I live in Southern California right now, and I can get some pretty bomb nachos. But my body does not like to eat nachos. I don't know what it is about them. It can be just cheddar on chips. I can eat chips plain, but once I put all the nacho stuff, it messes me up. And I don't even eat that much, and this is a special treat that I would have once in a great while, but my body doesn't like it, so I tend to get stomach aches, and food gets stuck in my esophagus, which is a whole nother video in itself. But yes, food can feel stuck because when your stomach's full or you don't chew enough, it doesn't go in. It is, like I said, another video. So nachos don't feel good, so I ordered them from the local Mexican restaurant, and I started eating them, and I was like, bad choice. So I stopped, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do this today just because it's Mother's Day. So we're having a great day, and then the kids were like, let's get ice cream. So I had this grand idea that I was going to go to Farrell's. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's a big ice cream restaurant where they have, like, the pig trough ice creams and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm going to get some ice cream. I don't eat a lot of sweets like that, but it was Mother's Day, and I was like, I'm going to have some ice cream today. So I ordered an ice cream sundae, and I was like, I'm not even going to eat that much of it because I don't feel good already from eating some nachos earlier. And I was like, all right, I know it's a bad choice, but, once in a while it's not so bad. And I really am pretty good about what I eat. So I ate about half of this small sundae, and we get in the car. I felt tired as soon as I ate it, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad. So we leave Farrell's at probably about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. No, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon we leave. And I get in the car, and my husband was like, do you need me to drive? Yes, please, I don't feel good. Not even halfway home, and I'm like, oh, this is the worst decision ever. I got home, I laid down on the bed, felt the cramping, laid there just kind of taking it in, ended up in the bathroom for a good hour. It was a bad one, and then I had to get back in bed, and I ended up taking a 2-hour nap after the whole thing was done, because that's what dumping syndrome does to you. It's exhausting to have your body forcing all this stuff out. So what causes dumping syndrome? Well, I already brought up, for me, I have an issue with red meat, mainly steak, carne asada, any kind of red meat. I don't even eat ground beef anymore. I eat ground turkey. Sugars. I can have sugar in small quantities, but if I sat down with a thing of Ben & Jerry's, if I took my time, I could probably eat the whole thing within like an hour. But even half of it would cause dumping syndrome. I have to do serving sizes of anything less than gosh, if I had anything with more than 30 grams of sugar in one sitting, I would be miserable. So I think that's where the issue lies, is sugar. Yeah, sugar is bad. I also have people that I've talked to that have dumping syndrome from things like iceberg lettuce, which, because it's a very tough food to digest, your body releases it quickly. What else? Fried foods. I have a friend who had gastric bypass, and every time she tries to eat fried foods, it happens. Lots of different things. Like coffee can sometimes cause dumping syndrome. You aren't really going to know what causes yours until you start experimenting with what you eat, because you know you're going to do it. You know you're going to eat things you're not supposed to. So be extra cautious when you start experimenting. My rule of thumb is never try a new food away from home, ever. If you're going to try something new and you're going to experiment with what you eat, don't be in public. Just don't, because you do not want to get dumping syndrome in public. Be very careful about what you eat when you're not at home or when you're at work. I can't imagine having to deal with that in public. I mean, I have had to deal with it in public before, but you know, it's rough. So be extra careful. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below. I'll try to respond as quickly as possible, or someone else will respond, because you guys are all really awesome at answering questions and being super supportive, which I appreciate. So thank you guys for being so supportive. I'm almost at 5,000 followers, and I think that's amazing, because I really want you guys to hear the truth, but hear it in a way that's not going to freak you out, or just, and I don't want to freak you out. I just want you to know what you're getting yourself into and what to expect, and, and then maybe you can plan for the best, or at least have some knowledge. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to make some more videos, post them throughout the week, but my moving is coming up fast. I know I mentioned before that I would be moving out of state. It's going to happen very quickly in the next couple weeks. So my background will change. Maybe my lighting will get better. Maybe I'll be able to make better videos, but I am moving out of state, and it's going to happen pretty soon. So thank you for watching, and until next time.